Welcome, everybody. It's Wednesday, which means it's another tinfoil hat. I forgot to adjust the volume level on my microphone, so I sound loud and annoying as hell. And we have a GTA background, and we have one of the two Daves. The other Dave will be late, but we're going to talk about a couple of things today. So we've got some fun stuff we'll talk about. Main thing you've seen in the title is we'll talk about Mason Greenwood, how people feel about him because he is heating up towards Juve. We'll talk about the Denzel Dumfries / Taylor Hernandez dog image that has gone around the internet and kind of, the certain things about that. And then the one thing is the salary cap or the spending cap that's going to be going on to the Prem. We'll kind of talk about that. Kind of break that down from a cost perspective and how it really works and how is it really going to affect anything? Is it really going to change anything? Is it not going to change anything? And here to do that with me is my hoser from the up norther, Dave.
How are you? What's going on there, bud?
Oh, it's going good. We got ourselves some sports discussions today, so we're going to be talking about just a bunch of shenanigans, lollygagging.
Oh yeah, maybe a bit of some of that ice hockey,
Oh, absolutely. Even though it is the playoffs. How are your Leafs doing, eh?
Oh, they're holding on.
Oh, they're still there.
They're
right? They haven't pulled out entirely yet, huh?
No, not yet. And I mean, that's not all. Those are the main topics, but there are a couple other fun things to talk about as well tonight.
Yeah.
So we'll definitely get into that. But yeah, Dash, how you doing tonight?
Just taking naps and waking up from naps. Surprisingly, if you guys have seen the short, my penalty video did quite well, actually.
Yeah, I'm surprised.
I know people like watching me take pens. I feel honored.
It was just like the shaky footage from like the other side of the court.
The other side of the rink. The bud there took the video there. Me with like 5 seconds left took a penalty and got the equalizer there. Sent everybody home happy besides the other team because it sucks to suck.
Well, it was a tie, so nobody should be happy.
Oh, we were losing the whole game. I scored 2 at the end. Two at the death.
Nice. Get a couple bag in there.
Would say, unbelievable striker, Mr. Dash over there. Absolutely 2 bangers, world-class goals. No, it's a penalty. It's not a world-class goal, but at the death. I always hate those kind of games on the boarded fields because it just makes you realize how old you are because there's no outs unless you blast the ball over the rink.
It is a rink, sort of, isn't it? Or is this turf?
It is.
Indoor turf?
It's turf on the bottom. It's just there's boarded field. It's a rink around. So
okay. Can they put ice down?
They no. Well, yeah, because if you rip off the turf, the grass, it's just concrete.
Yeah, you probably can.
It just depends, right? If the site has the piping and the chiller in the building, they can maintain.
Just do it. Just do it in January. It's fine.
Do it in January. Just go outside. Touch grass or touch ice.
Yeah. But let's do a bit of the housekeeping, then we'll dive right into it. Of course, first off, I mean, so I can get this out of Dash's face, the Discord QR code there. Scan that right away. Get into the Discord. That's where all the good stuff happens, especially for Wednesday night. Just shove it in my face now. That's fine.
We're actually looking at each other instead of like a divorced couple and looking away from each other.
That's not a divorced couple. That's a married couple.
That's fair.
But anyways, guys,
in the Discord.
That is where the conversation truly happens outside of the toxicity of Twitter and Instagram and all that jazz. Of course, you can get onto our toxic platforms as well on Instagram and Twitter. All the links are down in the description. Hit us up there.
Yeah.
But otherwise,
I mean, honestly, like in all honesty, when it comes to the Discord, guys, if you want somewhere where you can talk about the Prem, any kind of I'm throwing a jab. If you want to talk about any kind of league, any kind of stuff that you want to talk about, there's different tiers, different channels where you can go in and discuss stuff. The community in the Discord is awesome. No one's going to sit there and say you're an idiot or you're dumb or something like that.
Well, they might, but they don't last very long.
Yeah, they don't last long. Dave and I tend to, mostly Dave, he tends to, as like the hoserings like to call, he likes to fuck off those individuals quite well. But yeah, I mean, like, for example, not everyone in there agrees with everybody. There's always discussions, good discourse. If you want somewhere where you can sit there and you can talk about stuff and you want to, have your opinion challenged or have your thoughts challenged,
or just have something thrown up on a Wednesday show like this.
Yeah.
Anything.
We're gonna be using that for sure. Do you have an order that you want to start, or because I kind of want to make fun of the Prem to open up?
Yeah, no, let's start with the Prem. There's a couple of Prem things, so we'll start with the
It
Prem and go with one a little bit later as well.
Let's see if the Athletic is going to make me pay for this article, just to look at it because F me, right? All right, Howard Webb and the Premier League is because apparently Brits can't get VAR right for some reason. I'm just not.
Nobody can. Let's be honest.
Nobody can, but like they're making it as a big deal.
Yeah,
like all of their managers. And when German Dave comes in, we'll talk some champions because there is 2 German teams in there, and I think it'd be fair to have the German of the group talk about it. But Howard Webb, Premier League exploring in-stadium explanations for VAR decisions. So Howard Webb confirmed the Premier League is exploring the introduction of in-stadium announcements to explain video assistant refereeing decisions. So this was last week. I showed an Instagram video where the MLS is actually, they had their refereeing union meeting, and refs in the United States are going to be going on the hot mic essentially when there is a VAR call to explain what the VAR call is. They're adding 2 more things as well for essentially penalties or, sin box for delayed substitutions, or as I like to call shithouse injuries. So they're going to be piloting those and seeing how those work. But I know the one thing that the United States is doing is that they are doing essentially, whenever there's a VAR call, the referee, main official, has to be able to essentially discuss and say, hey, we're reviewing this and we're assessing this. Ironically, it's the Yanks that are taking,
Is it really ironic though? Because when it comes to sports, the Yanks are the most progressive, I feel. They're the most willing to make that change.
When it comes to football, I would say yes, because if it wasn't for the United States, Sepp Blatter would probably still be in charge of FIFA because they're the ones that started the probe against FIFA and their corruption. And everybody's like, oh my gosh, oh man, the United States always meddling in their affairs. And in secrecy, they're like, thank you. It's kind of like, you ever notice, and it's kind of ironic, right? Europe will always do something stupid, and the United States has to come in and just slap everyone on the wrist. This isn't even me trying to be patriotic or anything like that. It's just I find it so ironic because everyone dogs on the U.S. internationally, and then when shit hits the fan, they're like, "Oh, please, senpai, save me! I messed up." So it's now it's the United States is dude, our sports, NBA, NFL, NHL, they all sit there and announce calls that they're reviewing. Why don't we just do it to football? And then everyone's like, oh my god, this is the craziest idea ever. The Yanks are taking over.
It's almost as if we mentioned this before.
I know.
And now it's happening.
I think we've said this for 2 years now.
Yeah, I've yelled about it a couple times.
I don't understand why it's being touted as some revolutionary thing,
because
right?
This is English media now, right? They don't understand. The American sporting world does not exist for most of them, right? I bet you there's still more people watching cricket than there is the NFL in England.
Look, if anything nowadays has shown, it's once you have the United States in your sporting league or they're managing a sporting league, it thrives. Because you look at the Premier League now with Comcast, NBC Universal, essentially owning all of it, right? Mm-hmm. They are the 5th most lucrative league in the world. They're behind all, for example, they're behind the NHL, the NFL, and all those, right? The NBA. Those they still make a lot more money than the Premier League, but it's up there now, right? The only thing that's up there that's not, something that's managed by the United States is the cricket league. It's the professional cricket league in India. That thing rakes a shit ton of money.
Yeah, it's actually quite insane. And that's something surprising from a North American perspective when you're the highest paid athlete's a cricket player, and just they're all ridiculously rich.
Oh my goodness. Absolutely. That's the one sport I want to actually learn and understand is cricket. I
wouldn't pretend to know anything about it.
I have no idea how it works.
You throw balls and have to hit a wicket.
That's pretty much my knowledge of it. And that's not even me making fun of it. I've for example, I went to a college with a very decent Indian population, and I've seen them play it. I just never took the time. And that's my ignorance, but
Same here. I'm usually just shoving my face full of naan bread if there's a bunch of Indians around.
Well, Jesus. Yeah, it was just,
I love
it was
their
interesting.
food. It's so good.
I've never had Indian food.
Oh my God, you're missing. There's a piece of your life missing.
Apparently I am. I hear that either, protect your butt cheeks because you're going to be shitting bricks, or it's really good.
It's so good and so good for you.
Yeah, that's what I've heard. Like it's one of the two, right? So going back to the article here, so the idea was discussed in the April Premier League shareholders meeting, where the introduction of the semi-automatic offsides was approved. So again, I kind of want to talk about the shareholders, right? 10 of the 20 Premier League teams are owned by teams in the US.
10 at least partially. At least partially. Yeah.
No, that's full ownership. Partially,
there were a couple that had like a partnership. I didn't check like the actual percentages, but
it's like 35. I think it's like a 35-25, but it's predominantly, right?
Yeah, but just to clarify, it's not 100% across the board. Some teams are, some teams it's not.
Yes, some are coalitions, right? But you look at it and it's like, oh, I wonder why it's been approved. Gee, I don't know. You have a bunch of American-owned companies that are approving this, right? So it's like, you're going to see the United States take over the Premier League. It's only a matter of time. Like, for example, if Man City gets sold, then that means Arsenal essentially is your biggest invested Premier League team with the guy that owns Walmart owns Arsenal, which is just wild to me. But in announcements from the referees was used at the 2023 Women's World Cup in Australia and New Zealand for the first time. It had been implemented at a Senior World Cup, having already been utilized at the Club World Cup in Morocco and the Underworld Cup in Argentina. I love how the World Cup is where they experiment new rules. Out of anywhere else, they do it
the
in
Women's World Cup. So not.
They did for the men's. They did the ridiculously long extra times.
That wasn't supposed to be.
I know, but that's what I'm saying.
Was just them screwing things up.
Can you imagine, out of, like, for example, we're going to try new things at the most prestigious tournament. Like, I remember when VAR debuted at the 2018 World Cup, and like, yeah, we had it at Serie A for like half a season or a season already, but like, they wait for stuff to essentially be like at the World Cup, and they're just kind of like, watch. I guarantee you they're going to copy the MLS stuff and use it at the next World Cup in the United States.
And not give MLS any of the credit.
No, not give them any of the credit. It would just, I can tell. I just have a feeling that that's going to happen.
We got German Dave here. How's it going?
We do have German Dave. How are you, buddy?
I'm good. I didn't want to interrupt you cooking over there.
It was a light simmer. We were opening with something just nice and warm until you get here. All right, let's finish this article off.
Vlad, sorry, he just realized that the title in my thumbnail also is the beginning of our coach's name.
Alleged.
There's a layer, like always. There's always layers, and Vlad somehow finds an extra layer or two. So
that's the tinfoil hat there.
Yeah.
All right. So speaking on the Premier League production, match officials mic'd up. Webb said the in-stadium appearance does need improving, doesn't it? When you hear the clips on shows like this, it makes sense with what's happening. Referencing the process behind Andy Madley's decision to not award a penalty to Brighton during the Premier League fixture, Brentford at Lewis Dunk and Johan Wilsa tussled in the box. He didn't give the Premier League because, fucked it's Derby. That's the rule there. But what continues, it all becomes apparent, and actually you'll hear the referee, Andy Madley, having the screen saying, "I'm going to speak with Lewis Dunk to explain why the penalty that he feels should have happened isn't going to happen because he fouled Wisa before that, and we're always looking to improve the in-game experience, and they make me want to pay for it." So that's pretty much it, right? They're saying
they usually get you like a paragraph, and then they're like, you actually want to get to the meat, you want
to get to the meat. But I mean, in general, right, it's just the Premier League adding the essential enunciation of every call on VAR, because like I said, there's a bunch of issues with England and VAR. Like Ange, who is Tottenham's manager, is like, it's stupid. You can't get rid of it now, but it's there, and wham, blah blah blah. It's like, I just honestly, I've seen a bunch of British teams just whining about it. The only thing I've seen La Liga whine is that, we should probably have goal line technology after Barcelona voted against it, only for them to lose to it against Real Madrid, which I think is ironic.
the Swedish Football Federation rejected getting the VAR now in their league. Like 32 teams were able to vote, and 18 voted against VAR.
Oh, no VAR at all.
Sweden's football will stay without VAR. Yeah,
interesting. Because weren't they testing?
They were testing.
There was a country where they were testing the delayed offside thing. Yeah, the offside.
Yeah, was Sweden. Was it Sweden?
I believe Sweden was one of them, but I think they have offside technology and stuff like that, but not the VAR like as a thing to influence decisions.
Interesting.
I think with VAR, you open up Pandora's box now when it comes to officiating, right? Like, for example, the referee announcing the call. And then, for example, this gets really messy if they give the ability to challenge calls to VAR, which I hope never happens because that just becomes a mess, right? Like, say that something happens and then, whatever, the coach throws a flag or the manager throws something to open up a challenge, that's going to be something that they'll have to clarify. I mean, the offside, it gets messy now, right? Because I think all three of us have experienced it for the past season and a half. Whenever we get excited for something, especially Dave, Dave smashes his hand on the table only for it to be overruled as offside, and then
it's unnecessary.
I just look at the life drain out of your eyes.
Yep,
it's unnecessary.
No, the biggest problem for me is you're taking away the accountability of the referee first and foremost, because you give them this backup option to not be, if they're not able to whistle an actual game, because most of the things that need VAR review are fouls, are offsides, and everything. Sorry, not offside. Offside is black and white, but are decisions that happen within a gray area. And the problem is the referees are still completely like, they're not of one opinion on how to whistle those gray areas. So you always still get missed calls and everything within those gray areas. And that is what the VAR can't clean up. And that's the problem why lots of people have problems with it, because it doesn't clean up the game fully. But on pure stats, the game has been fairer. Like I forgot the percentages, but now like more than ever, right calls get made in football matches. I know we don't have the feeling of it when we watch games, and we know in Italy there's some shenanigans anyways. But overall, the game has become fairer. It just doesn't seem like it, because now we see like every single foul reviewed, like instead of saying, oh yeah, man, he missed that one, that's a bummer, but we'll get them back, now you have the black and white decision that aggravates the fandoms against the referees.
Yeah,
well,
which
it's
is
black and white till it's not, though.
Exactly. Which, like, for example, I think we can talk for, because we've seen some ridiculous VAR calls against Juventus, right? Where
absolutely,
with Moise Kean against Verona, right? Where he somehow magically, like, it looked like he slapped the shit out of that one individual, and that was way, at the beginning of the build-up, and then he scores a goal, and then the goal is knocked off. Like, for example, I think VAR is good if you limit the scope of what VAR currently does.
Yeah.
Like, for example, offenses in the box, anything that happens in the box should be reviewed by VAR, not something where it's like, oh, I have to, we have to go all the way back to when, like, for example, the center back first passes the ball to the right wing back. We have to assess that play and see if that play is good, because, like, for example, VAR, especially in Serie A, VAR goes from the beginning of possession to the goal. If there's something in there, then it has the ability to review it and yada, yada, yada. That, to me, I'm personally not a fan of, because, like I've said to you guys, and I've said it to the viewers, I am one of those big, do not give officiating a margin of influence. What I like to say is, don't give them the ability to influence the game. And the way that VAR initially I thought was clear and obvious errors. Clear and obvious errors within the box. That is the initial intent for VAR. Is something that is like you have to be an absolute jackass to miss. Whereas, like, for example, if you're utilizing it because Keane's hand slightly goes backwards and goes across a guy's face, and the guy looks up and sees if it's a goal and then starts wailing on the ground, and VAR was used to essentially knock off a goal because of it, that to me, again, what was the purpose of VAR for that? That wasn't a clear and obvious error.
There's no limits.
And there was an even bigger like scandal in my opinion. Yeah, all of you heard the Liverpool discussion earlier this season against Tottenham and everything, where VAR ruled off a perfectly legal goal and everything. But last season, was it against Monza or Cremonese, where a Monza player was outside of the frame of the VAR? Salernitana, sorry. I believe it was Milik that they whistled offside, and the VAR checked and said yes, offside, but outside of the frame that they showed on the TV was the Monza defender that put Milik onside, but they didn't show those images in TV. You just saw it later on social media. So the only people that saw it were in the stadium, the viewers, and
the whole internet.
And I don't know how you do a mistake like that, because if the VAR, so the referee himself, he's looking up these pictures, wasn't there a single frame where he saw that the defender there for Monza in the image? Because on the if you see only the frame of the box, yes, Milik was offside.
It wasn't even a defender. It was Kondreva. He was just grossly offside.
Kondreva, sorry.
Yeah, Kondreva was just basically hugging the touch. The question that I have for that, right, was like, how did the linesman miss that?
I don't know. But that is what VAR should be able to clean up, and they didn't. And that is the problem that people have with VAR, and I'm 100% with that. How do you just show that one image on which he is offside, but you miss a player that is like on the touchline?
Because they put a rule in without giving it the bounds of what that rule is able to do. They're just like, here's some technology, good luck. It's like phones and millennials, and now look how fucked up they all are.
It's like I've always said, right? It's always supposed to be a supplement. It is not supposed to be what you're using.
No, it's not. It took the accountability completely away from the referees.
And hence why refereeing has been absolutely abysmal the entire last 2 years. But moving on, though, because we've beaten this pretty hard.
Yeah. Now they at least have to talk about it, and we can yell at their dumb decisions as to why they made that. Because at least now we'll know. But yes, we've dwelled on VAR long enough.
Let's move on something interesting. So the Champions League, right? Champions League was this week. Real Madrid, Bayern Munich, 2-2 classic. Dortmund get through PSG. PSG just quiet in Dortmund, which I know you're happy for. Everybody's happy when PSG loses. I believe that has all but secured Germany as the second coefficient ranking. So Germany and Syria.
We needed 1 point technically. We got yesterday the 1 point, and today 3 points basically.
3 points, 4 points total. So there you go. It is completely out of sight now.
So goodbye, Premier League. The farmers beat you again.
The farmers essentially cooked.
You can kind of say that with their conquests of Scotland. Or attempted conquests.
Attempted.
And Ireland, won't get it. You know what I'm saying.
So, Todd, I wanted to kind of bring some discussion to the Real Bayern Munich game, because we've said it here on this channel that positions are a thing of the past. Modern football players don't need to be married to a position. More so because, like, for example, you saw it again. You saw Tchouaméni start off as a center mid, finish the game as a center back. You saw Valverde start the game as a striker, finish as a midfielder, adjust there again. Jude Bellingham started as a striker, went back deep. Vinicius played up top, played in the middle, played all over the place. And Camavinga as well, right? He's alternated
Dude,
left back.
Kamavinga played left back this season, played center back, played holding midfielder, played an 8, played also up front more offensive midfielder when Valverde and Bellingham were injured. Dude.
Same thing with Lucas Vasquez as well.
Absolutely.
So the only player on that roster, 2, I'll give them 2 or 3. The only 3 is the old guys: Cruz, Rudiger, Fernandez, and Modric. Right? Those are the only players that are staying in a set position. That entire team, like on paper, they're listed as a 4-4-2. Their players play practically everywhere. And now with the addition of Mbappe, I said it. I don't see that team losing. Them being a dominant force in the Champions League for the next 5 years, guaranteed.
And by the way, a fun fact that I posted yesterday in Discord, who you all can join once again, by the way. Real Madrid lost this whole season only 2 games, and both were to Diego Simeone. Only 2 games they lost this whole season. If they add Mbappe, a striker that can also move to the wing and everything, dude, can you imagine that 2 striker lineup? Or even if they play with Rodrigo, a 3-man front line, dude, they become unbeatable.
Can you imagine, like, for example, the pass that Cruz gave Vinicius if he gives it to Mbappe, and I think Mbappe is miles ahead of Vinicius as a player? Like, that is going to be nuts. Like that is just pragmatic on steroids. But I kind of wanted to draw attention to it because Thomas Müller gets interviewed after the match, and he's asked by the CBS crew there. He's like, "Hey, you essentially alternated or rotated across the entire front line and yada, yada, yada." And he says, and I quote, "Positions don't mean shit. All I care about is contributing and winning to the team." And we have an entire fan base that are Juventus fans that sit there and bitch and whine about players not being in preferred positions. They need to be in this. They need to be in that. Well, guess what, guys? You need to start looking at what elite teams do. Elite teams don't have players married to positions. You guys want modern attacking football? You need players that can rotate anywhere on the field to contribute. Anywhere on the field. That is how a modern, not boring team plays. Oh, but Real Madrid sit with 7 back. Like, that was the argument that I heard from somebody yesterday. I was going to play football yesterday, and someone was they were talking about the game, and I threw the comment. I said Madrid is the most tactically flexible team. They're like, "Oh, tactics by playing 7 players back." I'm like, okay, great. They're in the semifinal, about to go to the final. What's Barcelona doing? They're jacking off at home watching. Because that's a typical Barcelona fanboy response that you get, right, from Barca fans, is they'll sit there and be like, "But Ancelotti sits with 7 players back." Guys, sitting back and being strategic when you attack is going to be a tactic that never dies.
No,
literally, Diego Simeone.
Defense wins championship, and it will always do. Always. A pragmatic lifestyle, more often than not, will win you a game that, like, in a single, like, this is basically 2 games to determine who will play a Champions League final. Never over a 2-game series will a team that, like, plays offensive fireworks and everything beat a team that is flexible enough to compete with the fireworks, but also to sit back defensively and counter when needed, on the team that can only work offensively. I haven't watched the Dortmund game today, but I bet you, because I was in church, it was the day of the Last Supper today, and so I wasn't able to watch the game, but I bet you everything Dortmund has played this whole season like this. They sit deep and try to hit you on the counter, especially since they got Jadon Sancho, because he's cooking fullbacks again. Like, it's his first stint around with Dortmund.
Yeah, speaking of that, what a flop by Eric Ten Hag. Like, what an absolute misrepresentation, misjudge, mismanagement.
His ego. Like, his ego costed the whole damn club.
That guy should never coach a top tier team ever.
No. He needs to get humbled. Dude, he comes.
Apparently, this is an article you put up. He's resigning here.
we don't.
You read the German there, Dave. I'm assuming he's taking 25%. Oh, it is in English.
Oh
No, that was
no,
the other one. That was
no,
in
no,
German.
that was with no, that was with the salary. So if he doesn't reach the Champions League, a fourth of his salary gets slashed.
Yeah, so he might be staying on, like not even getting fired. He's just going to get a pay cut.
Yep.
Yeah, we'll see how that goes. But like for example, the guy essentially froze Ronaldo out. He froze Sancho out, and still and to this day, I will still hold the receipts of everyone that called in that messaged Dave and myself that was like, Allegri's a bum. We need Ten Hag. Ten Hag's an amazing coach. He plays amazing football. He does this. He does that. I guarantee you, Ten Hag would have sent Chiesa on the first boat out of here because their egos would have clashed.
Dude, Vlahovic would be out because Vlahovic had an ego until last year, till he, in my opinion, matured a lot. Chiesa is out. Dude, Di Maria with his ego last season would be out. Like, he would have sent everybody out. Now, they left the club, like, anyways, couple of them, but dude, we wouldn't have, like, any players by now.
Yeah. I find it
And that's why we have a good manager right now as a coach that can somehow work with this ego and lead us to the Champions League with Erik ten Hag at Manchester United after spending billions can't do.
Yeah, and kind of like so Vlad's comment here that I kind of wanted to talk about Real Madrid. So like you know this quite well, German Dave, right? So like for example, the best German national teams were the German national teams where they had players on the field that could alternate positions at all times.
Absolutely. Yeah.
That's why they called Germany the machine. And that's where I'm starting to look at. And I think Fiorentino Perez has taken inspiration to building Real Madrid that way because all the players that they look for are players that are tactically flexible. They can play in any formation, any position.
Germany is developing again into that direction where basically the whole front three is interchangeable, like on the positions and where which spaces they play on the field. The defense is very flexible. Sometimes the fullback stays back, sometimes moves forward into midfield and everything. We play basically a 3-man back line right now. And one of the fullbacks always like either slots into the midfield or gives an additional winger because we play with Florian Wirtz and Musiala, basically 2 10s that can move to the wings depending on which fullback moves forward. So it has finally become a good like a good team again, talented players, defenders with heart and everything. I'm excited for this Germany team.
And you have Italy right now who can't decide whether to be a back 3 or a back 4, which is an absolute joke. But
they have a month and a half to figure it out.
Yeah, and they won't because they have Spalletti as a coach. One of the biggest. I think that guy is the definition of an elephant in a tree. He wins one Scudetto and has like every player that has been in part of that Scudetto has had a negative season after. I mean, like Bayern Munich is never going to buy a center back from Serie A again after purchasing De Ligt and Kim Min-jae, especially
both of them.
Dude, the list wasn't even on the. It wasn't even called up yesterday. I don't think he was injured. He just wasn't called up, I believe.
Oh, that's ironic. That's ironic. And then Kim Min-jae, absolutely.
Oh, Füllkrug is 100%. Like he's a very good striker. He plays like a Harry Kane light version. He is very good at the ball, can distribute it. He has the instinct to know where the goal is. We have Dennis Undav, who we loaned from Brighton, ironically, that is cooking in the Bundesliga. He has 18 goals already. By the way, 0 from penalty, 18 goals straight up. We have very good strikers right now, so I'm excited. Like we don't have a Harry Kane or an Haaland or whoever, but
no, you just, and that's the thing.
It fits the purpose. It fits the purpose.
Yeah, it does. And Antonio's asking, can you guys see an all-German final? I don't see Bayern Munich getting a result in Madrid.
No,
that'll be hard.
I also don't think it's harder for Bayern to, because like I said, Real have lost only 2 games this season, and both were against Atletico, and I think none of the games sorry, the 2 losses were away, I believe. They didn't lose a single game at home, if I'm correct.
Yes.
If somebody wants to check that. But it's very hard for Bayern to get the result there. But it's not like impossible. I give Dortmund right now way better chances to... Dude, Dortmund will go to Paris next week with and play 10 defenders. Like, if needed. Dude, Dortmund will shithouse that game completely. I can see Dortmund like more so in the final than Bayern right now, but it's not completely out of the realm that
no,
that it will be an all-German final.
It's not out of it, but again, it's dependent because, like, for example, Bayern have to be willing to score 2 goals to make it through, because there's no way Real goes through the entire match at home without getting one.
Yeah,
there's no way.
Right. Right.
It would be very, very off character. And the issue that I've seen with a lot of teams, like, for example, the benchmark was Man City, right? Like, for example, Man City struggled with being able to understand Real Madrid's flexibility. Like, the way that their players are able to shift position, adjust, and really throw you off your game. That's what Real Madrid has done so well this season, last season, and the previous season, is that, like, yes, they have Vinicius, but, like, for example, it's more so like they're Cambiaso-esque players that they have, like similar profiles to what Cambiaso has, that allows them to come at you at different packages, readjust the way they come in, their different approaches and everything. Like, for example, Jude Bellingham didn't have the greatest game, but it wasn't dependent on Jude Bellingham. You just had Toni Kroos that was able to slot the ball through the middle. Like, for example, penetrating lines, they can hit you over the top, they can hit you on the ground. You just, it's difficult, right? And Bayern Munich has to do that. They have to not expose themselves. Where, like, Real Madrid chased that Bayern game, and Bayern was able to get opportunities because Real was chasing them, and then Real kind of put them in a false sense of security and blasted them with the counter. Not once, but twice.
Yeah, but Paris notoriously like misses out on chances. Like in the group stages, also like they had the woodworks in the 2 games, I believe, like 4 times against Dortmund. But you have to put them away. Like, yes, I think Paris will definitely at least score 1, but Dortmund has the power to hit you on the counter. I'm telling
Absolutely.
you guys.
Absolutely.
Look. Paris 100% will play the better football. Paris will 100% put the pressure on them. And Paris, yeah, they may win. I'm just saying it's not completely impossible for Dortmund to get a tie there or whatever.
The home field advantage doesn't really work well for PSG. Mind that.
Did against us.
Like, it doesn't really, like, it's not like, for example, playing in Dortmund is very difficult. Playing in the Bernabeu is very difficult. Playing in Munich is very difficult. There's atmospheres. PSG doesn't have an atmosphere at their home stadium. It's the same thing as, like, Man City. There's not really an atmosphere.
No, Paris is way better than City. Like, Paris has pretty good, like, die-hard fans, because they have an actual club history before they got bought by the Qataris.
And probably just the rough parts of Paris show up and make a ruckus.
Yeah. Antonio wants to know about the midfielder from Frosinone, Bresciani, and what's your take? Do you think we're getting Carne Secchi or DiGiorno? I'm calling him DiGiorno, the pizza.
I haven't heard anything recently on Carne Secchi. Di Gregorio seems pretty much happening, if you believe some reports.
Yeah, it looks like he's going to be a lock. I'm going to wait on the midfielder because, like, for example, it depends on who's managing the team, right? That's really going to be pertinent to what kind of midfielder. I got my balls tickled essentially because, they opened yesterday with, Jorginho and Giuntoli made an agreement. And then, Jorginho and Arsenal are now signing a new contract. So,
Dash, don't trust the journalists, man. You fell in the trap. You fell into the trap we tried to preach against.
I didn't. I did say on the original post on Discord, this would be nuts if it's true. That shows that they watch the show. I didn't agree it. I was hoping for it. And then, you got a 3/4 of a chub and then, it just deflates because it's just like, maybe Maybe it could happen. But I would hold off on any. To be honest with you guys, I would hold off on any players entering the club until we know what's going to happen for the managerial position, right? Because it might not be Motta. It might be Conte. It might be someone else.
I feel though that your goalkeeper
or it is because the management holds its cards onto his chest that we don't know jack shit, and who knows, maybe it's a second division coach or whoever that Giuntoli like thinks, oh man, he's a great
Montero.
talent.
It's gonna be Montero.
Dude, nobody knows shit.
Montero. People just want Montero because that's a name that they know.
You know, the funny thing about it is, like, I've listened to before, like a couple weeks ago, I was listening to people justify Montero. They're like, fiery personality and yada, yada, yada. It's like, do you not know how terrible the youth team is with him right now? Like, I think it's improved now. They've picked it up, but like, Montero was like winless in 2 months for the under-19s. Like, it was bad.
The first team and the second team were pretty much doing the same thing.
Like, it was bad. And then, because Montero's a Primavera. He's not even the next gen coach.
Oh, not even the next gen. Yeah,
he's not next gen. He's Primavera. Yeah. So it's like, yeah, he was doing terrible, and that's where I got that famous little gif about playing with 16-year-olds. But
that's right. That's
it was just
wanted a coach that plays with 16-year-olds.
Apparently, but yeah, I would wait on it, because just like, for example, and that's why we didn't really put the coaches on this show as a main discussion, because you don't know what's coming. Oh, that's another.
We beat that horse anyways with that.
Yeah, there's
until we know more.
Just wait until the journalists actually learn how to do their job. I would
just wait until the end of the season, man. Dude, after the last game, I'm telling you, they will have the talks, and within that week, or maybe 2 weeks after the last game, you will know.
Because less than a month now.
Because you have to prepare the market. The season. What is the last game day? Which date is it?
I think the 20th.
So then you have the end of May and June, and the market starts at 1st of July. So you have to like shore up your coaches within that time frame. So it won't be a long period you have to wait, because they have to buy the players or sell according to whoever the coach is. So it's not that long anymore. Please just chill. Don't eat what these journalists try to cook up for you. It's
and obviously with the Euros too, you have to wait until the Euros are done. Really, for any player links or anything.
Oh yeah, for players you have to wait anyways. Like except like free agents that sign up early right now,
or but players that are not playing in the Euros.
Will be after the Euros. Sometimes sometimes it's.
Wait, sorry, do we have? Can I use the breaking news thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How breaking is it?
Dude. Is it good?
Oh, it actually happened like 20 minutes ago. But
there we go. Canadian Dave with breaking news.
From Nicola Shira, Juventus have secured Di Gregorio. There's already the yes from the goalkeeper for a 5-year contract at $2 million per season. The Bianconeri should only find a deal with Monza. The requested $20 million. It can be done at 15 plus bonus or plus a player in exchange. An agreement was also found with Calafiori, also for a 5-year contract. Now Lavecchia Signora is looking for the right formula with Bologna that values him at least $25 million. And is willing to assess potential exchanges. So Juve has booked both Di Gregorio and Calafiori. So if you want to believe that, there's the Di Gregorio and Calafiori answer.
I pumped the brakes on it.
Because it's fitting because we were talking about both Di Gregorio and
absolutely.
You know, I've got a response. Until I know.
I just pumped the brakes once again, because it is players' agreement, that we also had a player agreement with Philippe Anderson. So chill out, everybody. We have to find the money right now. Hey, but we got already 8 million in the pocket. So
yeah, we sold
maybe another 9.8 secured that we don't have to give away.
the Ronaldo.
We are appealing the Ronaldo verdict.
Yeah, man.
Oh my goodness, what a mess. Oh, well, because everyone on Twitter is stirring up now because apparently Luciano Moggi said to rid the Rock that Galliani let Allegri know that Gentile is going to fire him, which apparently
that is
that's
such
how.
like a he said she said thing.
That is so stupid.
I read that as well, but who told them of that dinner? Who knows that dinner happened?
It's like apparently Galliani tells Allegri and then tells Moggi.
Why would he get fired during a dinner?
I don't think he was getting fired during the dinner. It was just the information.
Why would Gentile would just be like, oh, hey, by the way, because I think Galliani's still doing stuff with Monza, so they're probably talking about De Gregorio. So he's like, oh, hey, I'm going to sign your goalkeeper. By the way, I'm firing Allegri. Like, what kind of sporting director does that? Like,
I don't. It doesn't seem the most legit.
I think it's funny. We poke fun at it, just like we're gonna poke fun at the Denzel dog thing shortly here.
But before that, we can make fun of Barca a little bit.
Yep.
Oh yeah, we covered this. Xavi staying because Barcelona can't afford another coach, and that's what I made fun of our Barcelona fans with. Is you guys are sitting there complaining about Real Madrid doing this and that, and you guys can't even buy a goddamn coach. So like, chill.
I'm still on my promise. I'm not laughing at Barcelona because they beat Napoli this season. I'm not laughing at Barcelona.
I don't care. I'm an asshole.
I'm promised, and I am a man of my word. So I'm not laughing about them and their horrible financial.
There's a smile on your face.
There is.
Yeah, but hey, it's hard to not laugh at it.
How you got to keep your promise. No, you got to keep your promise, man. No laughing.
Yeah, but that's how you know that I'm a man of my word. That I'm not breaking a laugh here. I'm just smiling.
It says sporting directors of Serie A are like Real Housewives of Atalanta, with a hint of Lukaku.
You just wake up and then your heart is just pumping. Boom, 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 boom. Yeah, so those moments are crazy.
It is a crazy moment. That is actually pretty funny. It's like a telenovela between sporting directors.
And not only the sporting directors, Rabiot goes to drink coffees with Motta as well. So,
God, that was the most stupidest thing I have ever read. Oh my God! I swear, Italian reporters suck. My good Lord,
they regressed a lot.
Just news in Italy doesn't have to be.
They regress.
Granted, I can't say much because the United States has CNN, and that's pretty much all you need to know about joke journalism.
I mean, it's bad. CNN is horrible. Fox, all of them. But in Italy, there's this concept that news doesn't actually need to be news; it could be opinion. Or isn't
like what?
In America, the news is still supposed to be like facts. Whether those facts are real facts or not, I mean, it's a different story.
Are we Italian reporters now? Because we gave opinions off. Oh, okay. All right, never mind. Just asking.
Well, no, because we're all a bunch of Yanks and we can't be Italian.
Oh yeah, we can't talk about other stuff. That's right.
Technically, we are connected in a way by a lot of corners connected to an Italian journalists on Instagram.
Which one? Oh, because that one.
The post that I told you guys.
Oh, I mean, just because somebody liked your doesn't mean you're
connected. Yeah, man. Hey,
is that how it is? Somebody gives you a thumb up and you're gonna like jizz all over it.
hey, it's baby steps, man.
Baby steps. Oh God, you remind me of somebody that used to cream his pants every time Vlahovic would like one of his Instagram posts, and I would just sit there and be like, "Dude, chill. It's his agent." Man, breaking news. La Liga president Javier Tebas has announced that La Liga is so fucking broke that they're playing official league fixtures in the United States for the 25.
It'd be good for them. That's exciting for the Americans.
$20. It's going to be El Clasico in a large stadium, so they could charge $100 a ticket and make a fuck ton of money out of it. That's what they're doing.
At least.
If Barcelona doesn't have their stadium fixed by then, they're doing the Barcelona game in the United States. Guaranteed.
Miami.
Guaranteed.
Hey, there are people trashing you Yanks because you destroyed the game of football, but you're actually helping the leagues over here. So what are they?
We're financing it all.
We've taken. I guarantee you, they're going to be Barcelona games because Barcelona needs the fucking money.
Oh man!
I guarantee you, more Barcelona games.
Hey, a point that I completely forgot about that discussion in the comments with that guy. He said that we are sorry, I said we because I'm an honorary American now. He said that you Americans try to destroy the game with the Super League. Brother, it was your teams that signed up. Your teams have the money. You didn't need to. And he's telling the Americans that they fucked up. Brother, your club signed up for it. You're the problem.
The EPL was actually going to be called the Super League until somebody was like, yeah, you probably shouldn't do that. You know, they are the OG Super League. I mean, there's the Chinese Super League. There's the Turkish. Like, there's so many different Super Leagues. Anyways, the fact of the matter is, this guy in the comments, you can check it out if you want to.
He's read it up. He stopped answering the boy. Yeah, man.
But it was funny. It was funny because like that guy is a traditional Premier League whiner because like, for example, I guarantee you he was the first guy to start whining once the Saudis started buying players from the Prem for outrageous sums. Like I guarantee you he was one of those guys. It's just like, that's the one thing that I've always hated about certain fan bases where you're just kind of like, oh, you're doing it and it's okay because you're a visionary and it's incredible and yada, yada, yada. The moment someone else does it better, But
this guy tried to call me racist because he's like, oh, well, look at Spain, you know, the Spanish government finances Madrid. And it's like, why don't you?
He was calling you guys, he was trying to tell you guys for not talking about corruption of other leagues and yada, yada, yada.
Yeah, it was just like,
someone brought up the Man City.
Yeah, I'm like, just look at who owns, like, if you want to, I said, if you want to talk about royalty, just look at who owns some of the teams in the EPL. And then he's like, oh, well, I'd rather have a Saudi. What's wrong? You don't like Saudis? Are you racist? And then he just called us a bunch of Yanks. None of us are Yanks. I'm like, if anybody's racist here, especially the fact that you can't figure out what a German accent is.
Oh, no.
I have my country of origin and the team that I follow right there. So I don't understand how you guys were getting called Real Madrid fans, or I literally have where I was born right here and the team that I cover right there. I made a joke towards the Premier League.
Like he took it so seriously, brother.
Bro took it personally, and then it's like
they are so butthurt, but I love it, man.
And then it's like you guys invited Sal, and you guys invited him for a call-in show. Oh, I have this. I don't have time for this.
He plays cricket, guys. That's why he can't show up.
I commented from our official account, hey, please join us Saturday evening and whatever. And he said, yeah, sorry, I'm a parent and I'm working on Sunday morning or what?
No, Sunday mornings when he had to play cricket.
I thought that I was reading it. I wasn't even one of the guys that was engaging in it. I just read it once it got done, and I just chuckled. And I'm just like, you got to be kidding me.
That was one of those situations that aggravates you, but also like, you know, it pumps up your blood, and it's also so much fun, like letting it all out.
I'm just like looking at it.
People in this world.
Well, it's just like individual. That individual is like one of those guys that always has to have the final word. Yeah. Like that's what I saw, and it was just like, dude, like
he won't listen to what you're saying, but he'll.
The basis and like for example, the basis of that short was me making fun of the Prem. I'm like, you guys have all this money. You had UEFA essentially cater a rule to give you a fifth team, and you still fucked up.
Now,
and guess what? We had our fun, and 450 people watched it.
You know.
Listen, we can trash on the EPL all we want, but we gotta reel this one a little bit closer to home.
And I will continue to trash them.
Reeling it in, damn it. We're reeling it in because Inter has deservedly warranted our shit. I'm saying this wrong. We need to shit on Inter, essentially, and Denzel Dumfries. So you're wondering, why did we go with the theme in the background of Grand Theft Auto? This is why Grand Theft Auto is in our background today, because Denzel Dumfries, in the celebration of the alleged 20th Scudetto for Inter, saw a fan in the crowd with this banner here. Theo Hernandez as a Doberman and Denzel Dumfries holding the chain. Now, he took this banner and celebrated. I can read it up here. The feature C will open an investigation into Denzel Dumfries after the Inter defender grabbed a banner depicting Milan's Theo Hernandez as a dog on a leash, and the Dutchman will be fined like other players in the past. Inter players celebrated the quotes 20th Serie A title in the club's history on Sunday following a 2-0 win over Torino at the Stadio Miazza. Over 300. Okay, we don't care about the other crap. But what he did is grab this banner from the fans, and he did apologize. But somebody has to ask, why are you so dumb? You're supposed to be a professional. I know you just won the title. I know you got the emotions going over you, but like anybody in this world, whether you're a professional footy player, a fireman, a police officer, a school teacher, these people that are in the public's eyes, part of your paycheck is to not act like an idiot in public. And that's exactly what you did, Denzel. You acted like a fucking idiot in public.
Could you imagine? I hate being this guy, and I'm going to, just for the sake of this conversation, could you imagine if it was the other way around?
And it was Balotelli that actually said that.
Like, could you imagine? Like, that's not good optics at all.
It's not good optics. But again, at the end of the day, nowhere have I saw anywhere. No, I'm going to kind of retract and take the other side of the coin here a little bit. Yes, this is dumb. It's all in good fun. For like a fan to do this.
It is. It's
fan. It's cool. Yeah. But does nobody realize it took me 2 seconds? All I did was like GTA dog on chain, and there came up the photo. Like, this photo is everywhere. It made it seem like this guy went to the printing house and made this. They literally just put Buddy's face on a GTA photo.
It's like cheap Adobe Photoshop. You can even see it. I mean, it's impressive that they're able to scale the flag and have the image not be bit fucked, but like, it sounds terrible that I'm complimenting this, but like, it's not, and it's like kind of like how they made it. Like, oh my gosh, he took it and like drew it all in and yada 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 and stuff. It's like these players need to have like kind of this, self-awareness of, I should probably not grab and wag that around. Kind of like, for example, with the Lazio player that grabbed the flag, or like, for example, Mancini that was doing the same exact shit. Like, these professional athletes need to understand that you shouldn't do that. Like, you shouldn't grab that and wave it. You can,
professional football player.
When you're outside,
in the job description.
Like, if Denzel Dumfries has this as, a wallpaper in his game room in his basement or whatever, fuck him. Let him do what he wants. It's his personal life. But like, for example, when you have Dumfries grab that in the middle of the game and kind of like wave it around, if I'm Teo Hernandez, I'm pulling him outside. I'm like, bro, what's your deal here? You trying to say something? Like, what are you doing? Yep. Like that to me, because like, for example, when you're a professional athlete and you're playing against another professional athlete, there's like a thing of courtesy, right? There's a thing of respect. Like, you cannot like each other, but you need to respect each other. Like you can't, that's just one of those things where you can't get it, because like, for example, like I said, right, and I hate being this guy and I hate throwing this argument out there, but if it was a Milan fan that had it reversed and Teo Hernandez got it and grabbed it and waved it around, you would have all of FIFA running. Like, Hernandez won't be a professional player anymore.
Dude, he would be banned for at least until the end of the season. They wouldn't allow behavior like that on the field in the Euros, for example.
Like, and that's and I understand like that's going to cause some spice for the next. Well, I don't know if Teo Hernandez is going to be at Milan next year because it's looking like he's leaving. But I just like, I get, like, for example, the fanatic in me is like, that's funny. But then like the adult in me is just like, ooh, that's not good.
That's funny, but Denzel did not have to partake.
Yes.
All he had to do was like maybe smirk at it, like give the guy a head nod and continue to walk on. And that would have, gone on the radar. It wouldn't have been an issue.
Yeah, it's just the whole grabbing and celebrating with it is just not good. And like, for example, as Vlad said, Serie A came up with an anti-bullying campaign. Don't call him a dog, use the right word, call him a bitch. But still, right? That's just, it kind of goes against it. Like, for example, this is not the first time Inter did something. Again, it's the second time you have Acerbi allegedly using the N-word to Juan Jesus, and now you have Denzel Dumfries essentially saying that he has the French on a leash. So it's like, it's just poor taste. It's just poor decision making at that moment, and I guarantee you, Marco from IFTV was celebrating this. But anyways,
Look, this is one of those situations. You have to win humble and lose humble. Stay always classy. You have a job within a professional surrounding. It's called professional football. The word professional is literally in the job description. It is part of your contract to represent the club, to represent the league and everything to the best that you can, to not put dirt on the name of the club and the institution you are working for. And this is behavior that, like you said just a minute ago, if a different team, a different player would have done it, the brother would have been banned for God knows how long, fined God knows how much money, and everything. They would have thrown the book at it. Yeah. Can you imagine it would be one of our players? The brother would be the one playing at.
Well, I mean, they were trying to shut down part of our stadium because of the monkey noises, right?
Yeah.
Like
and
they were trying
what have they done to other stadiums where when they called our players with the N-word or did monkey noises or whatever?
They do a promotional "Don't Bully" campaign.
Yeah.
The only reason why Lazio doesn't still have a guy in the stands with Hitlerson and what's the number? Is it 77?
I don't know.
There's a number that represents fascism as well. But Giorgia Meloni, the prime minister, actually had to ban it in the country.
Yeah.
Right? Like, that's why there's no Hitler son in Lazio anymore, because the prime minister had to ban it. What's the Fiji doing? Jack shit. $4,000 to $5,000 fine. Who gives? That's how much he drops on fucking vodka for his basic bitch at the club on Saturday night. 88. I'm getting correct here. It's the 88. That's no good.
No, 88. I don't know if it's in other countries as well. In Germany, it's just the first letters.
I'm happy with. Sorry, I was reading the comment. I'm happy that he did, because people need to call it out. You say, hey, it's not good optics. Dave and I spent last week talking about it. How he did it wasn't done correctly. It was in poor taste the way that it was done. And then he had, Mr. Muppet over there calling everyone that called him out on it unemployed. And it was just, that to me was a huge optics disaster for IFTV and for Paramount Plus.
Speaking of unprofessional, like just calling the whole Juve fan base unemployed. It's like, buddy.
Yeah. And then you had TG over there shining his shoes. Yeah, they don't know what employment means. What a goober.
What an idiot. But just my last thought on this situation. This, whether you believe in God, in karma, in energy, or whatever, this is one of the situations that will get you back 100%. Whether it is a Milan player that will go studs up on him, whether he will look. I never pray for injuries or hope for injuries for everybody, or he will tear some. Like, imagine he tears something in the last Serie A game and misses whole next season, or like I don't wish it on anybody, also not on him. But brother, you have to be careful what you wish for. If you pull energy like that towards you, dude, the energy will get you back.
Mm-hmm. And we'll move on to something a little bit more lighthearted now. Also video game related. Erling Haaland is going to be the new, what do they call him? A king? I don't play this game. The Barbarian King.
He's for Clash of Clans. That's a quick buck for him, essentially.
Oh, I would love to know, just out of curiosity, how much that contract's worth.
No, it's going to be lucrative.
Oh, for sure. He's raking in some money. That's probably better than an Adidas sponsorship.
Yeah, for sure.
These companies are
if anyone's playing Clash of Clans, you have the opportunity to play with Haaland.
But apparently he's a fan. He's played it for a while.
I want Chiesa in the game.
I want Chiesa in the game.
Was like the sniveling witch.
Yeah. 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 So shall we get into, because I know we have two big topics left to cover. So what do we want to do first? Do we want to talk about Mason Greenwood, or do we want to talk about the cost cap?
I think
let's-
keep Greenwood as the main event, because I think there will be more thoughts, and it's not only the Greenwood situation in itself. It's also like we can talk tactically if we would get him and everything. I think let's keep that for the main event.
Here's some Premier League news again on the docket twice tonight, because EPL is the best league in the world. We have to talk about it twice.
Yes, we need more subscribers. Premier League clubs have agreed to push ahead with plans for a hard spending cap as part of the squad cost rules that go into effect at the start of the 25-26 season. Dave, if you don't mind scrolling down for me. So the idea of the measure was discussed at the shareholders meeting, aka United States versus the rest of the world. As revealed by The Athletic, the cap will anchor the max permitted spending by any club by ratio to multiple of what the lowest earning side receives. So one of the examples was used with Southampton. So the multiplier is 4.5. Southampton brought in 105 million euros in earnings. So the spending cap would be 450 million,
which is still insane.
Pretty fucking high. The fact, and this is where a lot of people miss the plot. Southampton got 105 million in TV earnings.
Yeah.
105 million. You know where they are right now?
Second division.
Second division.
Loaning us shitty players that we can't afford.
And not getting promoted.
Dude. Like, that to me is outrageous. You want to know how much our 20th ranked team gets in earnings? Like 3 million.
Hey, 3 million is good.
The Athletic got me, guys. I scrolled too much.
Yeah, you've been bamboozled. But in general, right? I mean, the main point of this article is that it's the lowest earning team with a multiplier of 4.5. Yep. So it's like that means nothing, right? Unless it's counting for like everything encompassing their wage bill and everything, then I could understand that being as a cost cap. Or I think it has to yet to be determined what the actual bounds are, because if it's just a transfer spending cap of 4.5 million, the only team that's really going to affect is Chelsea. That's it. No one else.
And by the way, they have a kind of a cost cap right now. They can record 150 million pounds loss over the span of 3 years. That is the cap they have right now. Basically, they have to work with it, and that's the fun story about it, because Chelsea has, I think, only this summer left since that rule got implemented. So they have to use this summer to sell like any asset they can to do some profit, to stay within those 150 million losses only.
Yeah, I'm still boggled at the fact that Southampton makes 100 million off TV revenue, and Juve barely scratched like 30 or 40.
Yep.
Like, that to me is insane. I just,
damn you Americans.
I know, flipping Yanks, giving Southampton all that money. No wonder why they're like, oh yeah, 50 million for Charlie. That's a phenomenal deal. That's like half our TV earnings budget. Holy shit, that's so much money. Oh my god. And that's it. Like, that's really
Dude, they get more than Bayern. They get more than Bayern.
I know. The only one that could get that much earnings is Real Madrid. Like, I think that's the only one that you could sit there and be like, oh yeah, 100 million, yeah, that makes sense.
Yep.
It just makes me wonder how much the TV earnings as the teams go up higher. It's got to be what, 300-400 million a piece.
And I think they have another TV deal negotiation going on right now.
It's only going to go higher. It's only going to go higher.
I think their new TV deal started 1.5 years ago or something like that, and they are already negotiating the next one for in 2 years, I believe.
They're going to be like, all of our matches will need to be streamed on 8K on Peacock. And Serie A will continue to get Matteo Bonetti and the Paramount Plus crew.
Oh fuck!
Dude, we will celebrate when Serie A teams will get all the
Can we just move Serie A? Can we just go to Peacock? Just move Serie A to Peacock. Their player is better. It doesn't freeze. It's easy to sync.
Netflix exclusive, Amazon Prime.
Dude, I would do it. Amazon Prime, if they were able to just nix it off of Paramount and just throw it on Amazon.
With how many people have Amazon Prime?
Dude. They're getting all the NHL Monday night games next year.
They got
Thursday night football. About that.
Yeah. Like,
thank God, people says, thank God I got my dogs. What kind of dogs? Are they Dobermans that you hold on to with a chain?
He's talking about us? Are we the dogs?
I don't know.
I'm
just
No, Dash, we are not dogs. We are dogs.
Dogs with a W. We're dogs with a W.
I think Vlad said the correct term is bitches.
Oh. That's fair.
But bunch of bitches.
Vlad has Nikola Jokic. Leave me alone. That guy's like ridiculous. I can't believe I saw him outrun the entire Lakers team not last night, the night before last night.
Yeah, dude. Hey, the Lakers play with a 39-year-old as their best player. Dude, how is it possible that LeBron James, out of every single NBA player right now in these playoffs, scored the most points in the fourth quarter? How is it possible that the 39-year-old has to keep you within the game, brother? What have they done to the team?
All I'm saying right now is if you have an Eastern European on your NBA team, you're essentially an elite team at this point, because like Eastern Europeans have taken over the NBA.
Dude, they're guaranteed championships, all from Greece, and yeah, man.
I'm telling you, Eastern Europeans are just like ridiculously like busted at this point. Like it is.
But Frankie, you tied up the series, I believe. So hey, they won yesterday.
I know. I'm saying they should have won. The Bucks should have won. Like they should have just closed out.
Denver like completely outplayed the Lakers, and I think they have toyed completely with them. But yeah, man, if the Lakers have gotten a coach that can actually like call timeouts when needed and not just let the Nuggets hit 5 threes in a row without calling a timeout or anything, where your team missed the last 5 field goals. Yeah, if they had a coach like, they could have at least make it a 6-game series or whatever. But yeah, the Lakers
we're already starting to wander here, guys. We got one more big hitter here before we can wander down like the NBA and the NHL.
Yeah, that's fair. All right, so let's talk Mason Greenwood because that's been going around. It's been starting. You've got a movement of hashtag No Greenwood, which is not good. Why do you not want wood? No wood.
Nobody wants their wood.
You've had some people that have said things about him, which I'm not a big fan of some of the things that they've said. You have some folks that are for it, some people that are against it. I think the one thing that we need to illustrate quite properly is essentially the whole Greenwood situation, right? With the alleged grape, and I'm using grape because it's a YouTube friendly term. If you say the R word, it will. Yeah, it will dominate you there. So I kind of want to talk about that. You're more the legal expert, German Dave, so I'll let you handle all the allegednesses and all that fun jazz. But a lot of folks have been saying and I'll say the main argument that a lot of pro Greenwood folks have been saying is, well, if we're giving Fajoli a second chance and his is technically worse.
Complete different.
How is it?
That guys,
like it's different.
I'm saying it based off. I'm talking in their perspective.
No, I know what I'm just confused.
So they're saying, hey, look, you're bringing in Fajoli. Fajoli still has a roster spot. I don't see what the issue with Greenwood is, and Greenwood's a proven producer. So, you guys whoever wants to take first stab at this.
First, I'll let Dave cook. But first, like, you can't mix up sports betting and graping.
Yeah, it's not at all. It's completely different. It's completely different things.
Fuck. Go ahead, Dave.
So, in my opinion, yeah, everything is alleged. There has been a court case, but in that court case, from what I read, they reached an agreement to drop the charges. So he is in the court of law a free man and can do whatever he wants. And from what I read on The Athletic and everything, so they're pretty reliable sources. He is again with that woman, and they live together now, and I believe also have a child,
And they're
if I'm
married.
correct. And they're married. So yeah, like some people are questioning whether she forgave him and that's how they got back together, or whether he just gave her money and everything to get out of that situation, drop the charges and everything, and so they get back together and somehow live a life together. And I know I don't want to make a statement on their lives, on their life situation and anything, and we don't know if it happened or not. We just know in the court of law that he's not proven guilty, but also not proven innocent. The charges got dropped. So we don't know what the actual legal situation, like what actually happened. Yeah, that being said, like I illustrated in Discord, we are a club that tries to portray an image to the outside that is a family friendly picture, like all the events at the stadium with the security cameras that Juventus is leading not only Serie A but the whole world, the whole football world. Like no German stadium, I believe, has that many surveillance cameras to find people's wrongdoings in the stadium and everything. The Juventus Stadium is one of the safest places you can go to watch football, to go on a family trip or whatever. And with the positioning against racism, against other things like domestic violence and yeah, all the other stuff, for me it would be like a big surprise if the club would pull the trigger on this one, because in my opinion it doesn't fit the image of the club. Like, if innocent or guilty, like I'm not making a judgment there because we don't know, but it will bring bad press to the club if we want it or not. Even if he gets like proven innocent in a court case or whatever, it still brings you the bad press, because there's something called the court of public opinion, in which we as Juventus would never win a situation like this. And once you are associated, like him as a player and as a human, with those things that he got charged with. Oh, what's happening with my light? Oh, once you get charged with things like that, there's no possibility to ever clean up your name again. He will forever be associated with that. If guilty or not guilty, that will be associated to him. And if we get him, it gets also associated with the club. I'm not saying it's fair or unfair or whatever, because again, we don't know what the situation is there, but it doesn't fit what the club tries to portray. And so I think, like I said in the Discord, like his play style and his age and his value and everything, he's the picture perfect player to get right now. Like, he would help the team 100%. His attributes 100% would help the team. He's young. He's cheap. He's cheap because of the situation, unfortunately. But he would be a great piece right now for the club. Whether you see him as starter quality, I'm not 100% sure. He has good numbers, not great numbers. But I think he would be, for example, at least a good rotational piece. But I don't think that deal is worth the public vitriol that would come to the club, and it would come. Sorry, that was us. It would come 100%, and I think we are all in agreement there. People are only waiting for just a small fingertip to shit on our club, and that would be one instance where we where we give the outside world like the chance to shit on the club once again.
It's an interesting one, honestly, because as soon as I heard Greenwood's name, yes, the court of public opinion did speak. It's like, oh, that guy.
I'm gonna play the heel of this conversation, so I'm gonna give the contradicting opinion, but I'll let you guys go ahead and go first.
Yeah, well, I mean, contradict. I'm kind of on the fence, honestly, because you look at his numbers, valued at about 15. He's 22, can play across the front. We just talked about how you want people to be able to do this, not be tied to a single position.
Yep. Double-digit goals and 6 assists.
Was valued at 50 until the allegedness happened.
Yep.
There's a lot to like here.
No, 100% playing wise, from his qualities, from the versatility on the pitch, he can even like switch a little bit more back and play a more traditional right midfielder that can also like carry some defensive duties, and he can play across the whole front line basically. So from his qualities and everything, I think he would be a very good, maybe great fit.
For me, playing in Spain right now as well, so just more of a CV, a resume there, right?
For me, it's just like I'm not doing a judgment on him or anything. I'm just saying it may be better for the club and the outside opinion. But hey, if somebody wants to, if the club wants to play the heel card and go into it, I'm not the one to judge. I will support still the club, and I'm hoping that he will perform. Like, I'm not casting like any judgment on him because we don't know. I repeat again, we don't know what happened, if it not happened, if he's guilty, if he's innocent. We don't know that, so I'm not casting like any judgment on him. But listen, I'm just like purely from the outside perspective, it would come with a lot of vitriol from the outside.
It will. No, I think it's Jeff that really likes it when we played the villain card, and maybe that is something that does suit us. Well.
So the one thing I kind of want to illustrate right now, in the court of public opinion, Juve is in the dirt. It's in the mud. Mm-hmm. You had the minus 15, minus 10, you have Fagioli, you have Pogba. All of those have, like, for example, right now, we're essentially, and I think this is where, in my opinion, I think Agnelli, Elkin, and them need to, at this point, understand. Because, like, for example, one thing that Man City does very, very well is they play the villain and they embrace that they're the villain. Like they understand that they're the villain of footy at this point, and they do it quite well. Where I think Juve need to switch from that baby face, persona that they think, and they need to be like, I think Juve need to be the big bad at some point. So
they need to get the Grinta back.
Yeah, you need to be the villain. I think Juve need to do a heel turn because the 9 in a row, the baby face, the flagship for Italy, it got stale. And I think because like Paramount Plus and all of them are essentially touting Inter as this big baby face, as like essentially, because you think about it, right? Inter is like
rat face. Sorry, that's inside.
Rat face, yes. They're promoting Inter as like the hero of Italy right now. Like Inter is being promoted and touted as like the baby face in wrestling terms means hero. Like a baby face, like a good guy, an amazing guy. Like that's what Inter is being touted as on Paramount Plus. So Juve need to stop trying to be a baby face and kind of embrace the heel. Because, and I said this when this happened back then with Fagioli, I said, if Juve don't cut him, it opens up bad precedents. It's a very bad precedence right now because with Fagioli was betting on games. It hasn't been released. No one knows if he bet on Juve games or Juve related performances at all. They're saying he didn't, but you don't know. None of it's been released. So essentially, he influenced games in Serie A by betting and cahooting with Tonali and a bunch of other people. Like it's not just Fagioli and Tonali. It was a bunch of other players, but I think those two ended up just taking the heat for it. So you had Fagioli that was essentially Fajoli's integrity is out the window when it comes to sporting, in my opinion. I still think it is. Like, he can, go to therapy and whine about how much of a changed man he is and yada, yada, yada. The fact that he took in it, lied to his teammates, took money from his teammates by lying to them, essentially, that to me is pretty bad, right? Or, for example, and I'm looking at the arguments here for Greenwood, right? Where don't be Juventus News Live and say that he graped his girlfriend black and blue, where, unfortunately there's no evidence of that. You can't, you're a news channel. You can't say that.
Did he make the allegations? Oh.
He tweeted it. He said, guy graped and beat his GF.
Brother.
That's defamation there, Rav. You need to do a little bit better there, buddy. But yeah, shouldn't have posted that. But
Rev posted that?
Rev posted that.
This is our disappointed father looks right now.
Yeah,
dude,
Rev.
So the so-called level-headed Juventino with his website, yeah.
I know, right?
Yeah, that is. That's why I'm disappointed.
That's why I was shocked when I saw it, because I was looking at stuff to get a contradicting opinion.
Very level-headed.
Yeah, like I was looking at to see some opinions and stuff like that, and then someone literally asks, they say, how do we feel about these allegations? Otherwise, his talent level is off the charts, but the only reason United want to get rid of him is because of optics. So then he responds with, my personal opinion is bleep Greenwood and bleep anyone who makes excuses for this miserable effing C word. Keep him away from Turin. And then someone responds with, oh, but you're okay with Fajoli? And then he says, this guy graped and beat his girlfriend and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, you can't say that.
Dude, that's very, dude.
I can show you guys. Here's the receipts. And this isn't me like going after him or anything like that, but that's not a good look. There it is right there. Like, you can't say this when the guy had the case dropped. If the case is dropped or something, changed off of that, you can't tweet that. Like, if someone saw that, I mean, obviously he's not worth that much to go after legally, but that's an easy defamation suit right there. Like, you can't.
Dude, that is crazy to write something like that.
You can't, right?
Like, you can't look. You can't position yourself against it without that one. You don't know any of the legal proceedings or what happened, brother. You're just putting yourself in a dirty situation there.
Yeah, and like, for example, with this, all you had to do is say, my personal opinion, I don't think he's good for optics, and you end it there.
No, he can't even say F him. He can't even say that because it's an opinion. But that one with he did, you know what?
Yeah, that was not good.
That's a lawsuit waiting to happen if that reaches somebody.
Yeah,
I'm kind of on Vlad's side here now too. Low key, I'm now all in for Greenwood move just to piss these guys off.
Well,
by the way, I deleted X 2 days ago, and dude, I'm having the time of my life.
I don't even like, the funny thing about my account on X is, like, I don't post anything on it. I just read what all these guys argue and whine about. Like, that's the only thing I use it for. But like, it's just like I read the discussions, and like, that's honestly, like, for example, that's what you see in regards to Greenwood. And it's like, again, I'm not picking on him or anything like that at all. It's just, you can't say that. Like, that's not.
But then it also
whatsoever.
It does kind of prove the point that the general opinion on the internet is not great of him. No matter what he did or did not do, the public opinion is what it is. And that may not be great for the club. But as Dal says, we're already in the shitters. Fuck it, let's go. Can't get any worse.
Dude, and also he has what is his channel called? Juventus News Live or whatever?
Yeah.
The club's name. He again put the club's name within his news outlet or X channel or whatever it is, because I think he has a website as well called that.
Yeah, it's not a good look.
Within that statement, he has the club's name. If you search for keywords in X for Juventus and Greenwood, his tweet will come up.
That's how I found it.
You see?
That's how I found it.
very interesting.
And that, whether you like it or not, puts again dirt on the club's name.
It puts dirt on the club because, like, for example, the way that I searched this was I literally typed in Greenwood, And that's what popped up. So it's
Dude.
just like, I don't know.
Dude, be careful what you're putting out there in the public, man.
You guys got to be careful with that stuff, man. It's not
for,
good.
For all of you, man. We are here trying to preach, be level-headed, be balanced with your criticism. We had that towards the team. We had like be balanced towards what the journalists try to tell you, and also with these sort of things. Be careful in the social media world, man, and what people are.
Yeah, and
I don't like this situation either. I don't know what happened, and I hate that we don't have a judgment by actual court on the situation. We are left in the dark, and that's what's, I don't know, depends on which side you're on, positive or negative. But it leaves everything in question, and that's the problem. And you have to be mindful of what you're putting out there, because we don't know, unfortunately.
And that's why, like, for example, you have this like really awkward positioning that you're in, right? Because it wasn't that he wasn't exonerated, he wasn't found guilty, he didn't plead guilty.
No,
it was dropped.
It just got dropped. It was dropped.
It just got dropped.
Yeah, it's a
like,
no judgment, basically.
Yeah, it's a no judgment. So it's like there's nothing there, and you don't know if it's true, you don't know if it's not true. Like, for example, and kind of going on to what P. Morton says here is like, honestly, where his thinking that Greenwood could have gotten set up. We also
can't say that. Hey, Morton, I love you. I appreciate all your comments, but we also can't say that, because we don't know that one as well. Yeah, of course.
These are just people's opinions.
It's a speculation, right?
Yeah.
Because
he's not making an official statement. He's just having a conversation.
It's okay. All good. I'm just saying, also with the, like, we are within our core group, we can talk with each other, but in the outside world, also with a thought like this, like, always be careful, be mindful of who you're talking with, and how you voice your opinions and everything. Just like, yeah.
But he says, I think, right? So these are the keywords that I pick up when he says, I think, right? It's not saying I'm a news site, this is what I'm reporting. No, it's like, this is what I think, right or wrong. So that's the nuance.
Yeah, and like, for example, the angle that he's going on, and this is me just trying to interpret it, right, is because, young guy with money does stuff. Like, for example, there's this term. I'm not making an excuse. I want to make this clear, right? There's this thing called baby trapping, or there's like, hey, this guy did something to me to try to, blackmail them into getting a bunch of money, right? So
it does happen.
It does happen, especially when you're at that. And I'm not saying that it did. We're not saying that it did, right? It's more so, the idea is so you don't have that, this guy graped or this guy did this, right? Where it's just like, hold on, wait a minute. We're never going to know the whole story about this situation, but there's that angle where she could have potentially did it, right? That's the angle that he's trying to throw there as like discussion.
Yep.
But at the end of the day, do we want to take that aura, that negative aura, onto our team, right? No matter how talented he is it worth the drama, essentially?
Do you? Let me ask you a question there. Let's say we play the villain card and we take him, yeah? Because like we said, like, his playing quality and everything, like, I would take him in a heartbeat, especially for 15 million. Like, if there wouldn't be this background, like, immediately I do the deal. Do you think that if he comes to the locker room, that it becomes a locker room problem where players look weird at him? Because I think it might have also a bad energy on or a bad impact on the locker room, on the other players and coaching. Like maybe some of them will look, hesitant at him, or I don't know. That's my question, basically.
I think so. The way that I would push back on that is by saying, how did the locker room respond to Fajoli, right? Because essentially taking 40K from Gatti, telling him it's for his mom.
I still think it's too different of.
It is right.
it's
No. I understand that. No, I understand that. But I'm saying from a locker room aura, right? Where he had a guy that's lied about everything that he was doing to you guys, because a team is sacred. You're supposed to trust each other, right? There isn't an instance where you don't, right? So like if the team is willing to forgive Fajoli for it, because for all you don't know what else has been released, it could have been deeper, right? And like for example, if the club is or if the players are willing to, take in Fajoli and understand it, I don't see it being too much of an obstacle with Greenwood.
I just think it's too different. Just like knowing myself, if there was in my locker room somebody that bet my money away, I would obviously be super pissed, and I'd be like, "You're a fucking piece of shit."
Oh, absolutely.
And then if he came back, it's like, "Yeah, I'm a piece of shit. I'm gonna go get help. I'm gonna work." Then I can see there being some sort of reconciliation there. But if somebody was just like a fallout graper, allegedly, let's just say hypothetically that this person was accused, no, there's nothing there that could bridge that gap. That's me. I don't know what the rest of the room
is. I think I agree with you there. Yeah, you have to think the players have opinions like you and I and also Dash have. Like the players have also opinions of the of both sides where some of them may think good of him, and others may cast some judgment on him and may not like him. And yeah, I just think that players are also like very human in their understanding of the problems within society, and that those alleged things or that are associated to his name, I think may cause just trouble with some of the players.
He's at Getafe. He's not at Man United right now, Vlad. He's in Spain.
And I think the player, from what was reported, like coaching wanted him out. Players didn't want him in the locker room. There was nobody speaking up for him. So
at Man United or Getafe?
At Getafe, I don't know what's happening there, but I know that Manchester United from top to bottom wanted him out.
But that was when everything was fresh, and then they kind of shipped him off to, well, probably for both parties, right? Everyone needed to kind of remove themselves from that situation, let things blow over. But that would be interesting if he did come back into the Man U locker room. Obviously, there's guys that would still be that would have their own biases, and they could know things, right? They know this guy a lot more intimately. So a lot of questions. On one hand, again, I'm on the fence. I would love to see that villain arc. You know, you get Fajoli back, you get Greenwood. You just make this dream team of criminals. I mean, they made movies about that where they make
back. I 100%. I love being a villain. I love shitting on the Premier League. I love shitting on every team out there. I'm willing to destroy people in the comments and everything, dude. I love playing a heel character, but I don't know if it's worth going for this one or playing for this one such a deep heel role.
At the end of the day,
I think this is one that I would pass. And dude, I don't know. Let's call out and shit on the referees instead, or whatever.
For sure. But at the end of the day, I think we just have to trust the management with this one, whichever direction they choose, because they're ultimately, hopefully, and I'm confident they do know more of what the hell's going on, because they do. They have their scouts, they have their insiders. So if they do decide to take him on, and who knows, maybe this kid's a stud. He's learned some hard lessons in life.
Maybe he did.
Maybe.
I hope he did. Not maybe. I hope he did.
Yeah, of course. I hope everyone, I hope Fajoli learned some lessons. I hope Pogba learned some lessons. It looks like Vlahovic learned a couple lessons this year. I mean, we're still waiting for Chiesa to go to school, but you know what I'm saying. We like it when these young guys can learn a couple lessons and grow into men.
So the question that I have for you guys right now is, if the allegedness wasn't a thing, would people be opposed to Greenwood?
No, except he would have been worth 60 million, probably
80 or 90. That. because that's where I'm like a little bit like I'm curious more so because like for example again I look on X here and then someone saying here average Chiesa enjoyer says any Juventus fan who is remotely open to having Greenwood join the club is massively failing on an IQ test, by the way. Genuinely insane stuff
coming from the Chiesa.
average Chiesa enjoyer. And again, like folks, me referencing these tweets, I'm not starting a beef with these people. They posted it on a public space. It's out there. Like it's not
out for our commentary. It's what
we're commentating on it. Like if you don't want it to be commentated, don't say stupid stuff on there. Because it's just like that's where I'm sitting there thinking. It's like, how does someone have like a poor IQ with this, right? Is it maybe you don't have moral equity, I could say, or moral chips if you're willing to take it? I could understand that argument, but from like if you're looking at it from an IQ base, right?
It's not an argument.
It's not?
Well, just saying you have no IQ. That's not an argument. That's name calling.
That is, well, I meant like I'm saying that you just don't understand anything is the argument. That's what I was looking at it as. But yeah, I mean,
but it's not. I wouldn't even call it an argument. That's what I'm getting at. Is that like if you're just like you have no IQ, that's name calling. You've now shut down any sort of discourse that you could have had on the topic because you just started with name calling.
So like
that's not how conversational techniques work.
That's what happened in our comments. He came immediately with his first sentence name calling instead of like actually trying to defend or to have a discussion. He came in there and name called, and so we just shed back with the energy that he came in with.
Like this is shit that you learn when you're 6 years old.
Yeah,
fucking figure it out.
Yeah. Because like this is. So let me throw a what if situation, right? Say that something gets released and they're like, okay, Mason Greenwood didn't do anything wrong, hypothetically, right? Like they'll be like, hey, it was, exaggerated or something, or like, for example, say that the girlfriend or it's his wife, I'm saying allegedly right here. I'm not mirroring anything.
Yep.
Say that she comes out and she's like, it was him and I got into an argument, a fight, and yada, 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 and it was blown out of proportion. And then it's like, okay, if something like that was released, is there still that negative connotation?
With some, yeah. I don't think you ever completely shake it.
No.
You don't think he's ever going to shake it?
No, you will never lose that. As soon as you're associated with it, and the problem is it doesn't matter if how big of an impact it is or what the level of the thing you did is. Like if he did less than came out like in the press, he still did something, or even if the problem for me is even if he gets proven innocent in law, let's say allegedly or hypothetically, if she lied in front of court and it comes out that he's innocent, just in this like hypothetical thought experiment, then for me, yes, he got proven innocent, take him, absolutely. But the problem is in the court of public opinion, he's still associated with it. So we are heels, but I am then willing to play that role because I know for sure like he didn't do it. And hey, let's go play the villains, man.
So Sunday League coach threw this on here as part of the whole notable athletes with allegations / convictions to kind of spread some gasoline on this. He says, you have Kobe Bryant, Cristiano Ronaldo, and Mike Tyson. If you admire either one of these, I think it's hypocritical to judge Greenwood in a negative connotation. After all, Greenwood is actually married to the non-accuser and raising his or her child.
Sorry, but that doesn't mean shit. That doesn't mean shit if it's true or not. Or it doesn't change the allegations if she is married with him or not.
But it does perspective around.
I think here's
players.
Here's the thing that I kind of wanted to paint with this picture here. This is where I kind of want to cook a little bit with some garlic and some peppers. The people that he listed on there, Kobe, Ronaldo, and Tyson, like something like that happened a while ago, and the stigma is gone because they became superstars and they won, right? So like, and I hate being this guy. This is me being a heel for this conversation. If Mason Greenwood came to Juventus, performed astronomically well, won the Scudetto, won the Coppa Italia, won stuff at Juve, I think people forget about it. I hate saying that. I think people forget about it.
You don't have to hate it. That's just the truth. If you hate the truth, then I mean, you might as well just kill yourself.
Because remember the whole Kobe, the whole Kobe shtick, right? He was number 8. That had a negative connotation. Kobe came back with 24. Kobe became a flipping monster, better than he ever was. And then it's like nobody really talks about.
When with Kobe Ronaldo, he was already at the top. He was past his prime or approaching that.
He prevented Juve from going to the United States because of that. Because if he went to the United States, allegedly, he would have been detained, allegedly.
But wasn't it like alleged affairs or cheating on the partner? I don't think it was.
No, it was something back when he was at
like
Man United. It was something when he was in Man United. Like he forced his way on. It was when allegedly, make this alleged here. From the report that we read, or that I read when it first surfaced back then, it was when he was at Man United. Man United was touring the United States. It was in Vegas, allegedly. And then like he forced his way onto her and yada, yada, yada. And Ronaldo did what he did. I don't understand why she would bring it up 15 years after the fact. That to me made no sense. But
you have to put yourself in the victim's shoes as well. That's fairly common. A lot of them go their whole life without talking about it. So
yeah, and then because of that, and this is, I don't know if it's true or not, it's alleged, right? If Juve were to step foot on the United States with Ronaldo on the roster, he would have been detained for questioning because there was a warrant allegedly wanted for him to come in. Not for his arrest. It was more so for them to get you might know the term better than me, German Dave, like a deposition or something like that, right? They wanted to talk to him about it.
Yeah.
And you know, and again, Juve, I'm not saying that this influenced Juventus decisions, folks. I mean, it is a tinfoil hat show, a little bit conspiratorial here, but Juve shied away from touring in the United States while Ronaldo was on the roster, which to me, from a marketing perspective, wouldn't make sense. Because why would you not want to take the Ballon d'Or winner to the United States for a summer tour? Like that to me is just outrageous. It's stupid. But it didn't happen. And for example, and Vlad says the girl was a crackhead. You know, it is what it is, right? It's still the connotation there, right? Because I don't know, because she filed charges and everything. We don't know if there was a settlement, if it got dropped or anything, or if it was thrown out. So like there was actual police reports and stuff that were filed for the whole Ronaldo situation. And then you look at it again. It's as LJJ says, he could have been brought in for questioning. That's why Juve didn't go to the United States. That's why Ronaldo went. And I'm going to tell you this now. Ronaldo didn't just go to Saudi for the money. Because if Messi
there were a whole lot of reasons. Brother, he has tax problems in nearly every country he played. The brother has a boatload of other problems for following him.
Yeah, so it's not because he wanted to go to Saudi Arabia. There was a reason why, and this was one of the reasons too why he didn't go.
And by the way, Messi the same. Messi got also charged with tax stuff and everything in Spain.
Why do you think Messi went to Florida? Out of all the states in the United States, no income taxes, no state income taxes. He just has to do the federal. Like that's the funny part about it too, is like people are like, oh, he wanted to go to Miami because of Beckham and blah. No. He went there because of their lax tax laws. Yep. If Ronaldo were to come to the United States to play for an MLS team, he would have gone to one of the Texas teams because of Texas's tax laws. Guaranteed, Ronaldo wouldn't have gone anywhere else. Ronaldo and Messi would have not gone to LA or New York. I'm telling you there, because of their tax laws and how they are. They wouldn't have gone there. But that was one of the main driving reasons, though, that also I think that Ronaldo didn't come to the MLS, right? Because of, he didn't want to deal with this, because if he would have been on U.S. soil, this would have been there. So when you look at the court of public opinion, people kind of brush this off and said, oh, it's nothing, right? Because it's Ronaldo, it's a proven winner. The guy has won stuff. So It just the picture that I want to paint for you guys is that sports fans are fickle. If you win them a title, if you do something for them, they will forgive anything, right? There's players in the NFL that have done DV and they've beaten the opposite gender, but they've done something significant. I'm not saying that I agree with that sentiment, but I'm saying that sports fans are fickle. Because, like, for example, again, Kobe was alleged for all of this stuff, and it was never proven that it was guilty or not. And then Kobe went in and became Kobe, the Kobe that and it's not mentioned, right? So I think a lot of these people.
Helicopter crash, the conspiracy theory.
No, yeah, it was she dropped the helicopter. Oh boy. But the idea is Morton, Ronaldo wasn't trying to be on an episode of SVU. But the idea, though, like, for example, Jeff says it, Ben Roethlisberger for the Steelers had some sus stuff, and people forgot about it because he won a Super Bowl.
I can give you an example of a situation that happened in Germany. Jerome Boateng, world champion with Germany, had a girlfriend and cheated on her and had an affair, like off the field stuff and everything, like lots of lots of athletes have.
Yeah, Ryan Giggs as well.
And then that situation, though, escalated quickly because she tried to come out with that story that he cheated on her, and also, like, they had physical or he threatened. I don't know if he actually, like, had physical confrontations with her or if she said allegedly, but what he did was, and he was a world champion playing at Bayern Munich, and so he has a large following. He called upon the fans to speak up for him. And what do idiot football fans do? They slide into her comments and everything, mob her, wish death on her and everything, and she committed suicide because of that. And the moment that happened, Jerome Boateng was completely, like, what's the correct term? Like, nobody wanted him at the German club anymore. And funny enough, Salernitana signed him, and in Germany, every sports fan in Germany, every football fan, every fan of a club in Germany, like, completely is aggravated and, like, just feels like it's wrongdoing by Salernitana to sign him because he did that. And by the way, it was proven then in court because of witnesses and everything that he actually also beat her up in court.
Yeah, I mean, it just kind of goes to show, right? And we'll wrap the show here. It's football. Fans are fickle. I mean, if you win them something, John Terry for Chelsea, right? So the thing that I kind of wanted to throw out here, and the reason why I'm kind of talking about it in this perspective, right, is people, especially like Juventus ex-folk, as I don't have a better term for those guys, but those folk, I guess so. That's what Matteo Bonetti wants to call them. But those folk need to be careful with how they say it and how they burst it out there, right? Because it sounds stupid, right? Because, like, all of those folks that are sitting there saying F this guy, blah, 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 they have supported someone that has done something like this. The only difference is that individual has won stuff, and Mason Greenwood was 18, 19 when this happened. So it's like, it's a fickle world. It really is. And unfortunately, it is kind of the way that it is, unfortunately. But the idea that we want to leave with you guys is just like, we always try to say, have an open mind, try to understand the whole picture instead of just essentially straw manning an argument or straw manning a position, right? Always try to be fluid, always try to understand how, it pisses people off or how some people are okay with it. instead of, making some rambunctious comments or tweets at folks for having an opinion and having that without really having proper discourse. But again, I think the average age of people that comment or post stuff on X is like 16, 17 years old.
Either 16 or 44.
Yes. No in between. But on that note, guys, we're going to do some housekeeping here before we sign off here. We're hitting the 2-hour mark. And obviously, remember, if you want to continue this discussion, hop on Discord. You can, speak your piece on the general chat, and you can discuss it with the folks there. Great community again. There's no wrong answer. It's always an open area for discourse. And as Jeff says, remember to say no Diddy. Dave, hit the music for me. No Diddy.
Coming right up, Mr. Diddy.
All right, but thanks for tuning in, guys. The best James Bond. But obviously, like and subscribe if you're new. If you're not, if you're a recurring viewer, always like it. Based off of the footage popularity of me playing, I might start taking out the GoPro and start getting some more on the field footage to convert for shorts and potentially make some videos out of it. So I will give you some dash on the field content as well, obviously. But we will see you on the weekend for some I don't know if you're going to want to watch long Dave or not, but
yeah. I'll be
match
there.
day stuff, call-in show stuff, and we're going to start wrapping the season up. 3 more weeks left. So we'll see you then.
Yeah. So I guess, see you Saturday night. That's going to be Saturday night call-in show, pregame, all that jazz. Thank you, everyone, for joining in tonight. Catch you later.